Okay, hello everyone. So from today we are going to take up some different questions or concepts or tricks in costing every 3 days. So today I had put a question of material variance on the Telegram channel. Those who are not on the channel, I'll still show you the question. You can pause the video, try by yourself, and then we'll start. Okay, but let me tell you first a bit about the question. So in costing, always remember that in every chapter there are two three selective questions which help you revise everything. Okay, there are 2-3 questions which through the questions themselves you are able to revise all the concepts of that chapter. In standard costing there are some missing figure questions which are like that. Okay, in costing always remember there are in every chapter there are 2 or 3 questions which help you revise the entire chapter, all the numerical questions of the chapter. Okay, fine. So similarly in standard costing, when you solve missing figure questions, all the formulas automatically get revised, all the concepts automatically get revised. Okay, so this one is such kind of question. I'll show you the question once, but we are going to revise first a bit before that. Now in this question nearly everything is missing. Okay, only like very few information is given, so that is why the question is very difficult. Only a few of the students have solved it till now. Okay, in class whenever I take up this question, only few students have been able to solve it till now. Even in CA final I have given this question to CA final students also. Okay, these kind of questions were there in CA final earlier. Now they're shifted to CA Enter, and CA final is more advanced, planning variances, operational variances, and so on. But so that is why now Inter has become even more difficult. So you should be able to face such kind of questions, missing figure, then some tricky questions and so on. Fine. Let's start. Before starting with the question, let's revise material variance first quickly. Okay. Material cost variance. I'm not going to explain concepts in this video. Maybe I'll make a separate video, and obviously the concepts are in the regular batch videos as well, which are there on the channel. Okay, it is available for free on the channel, so you can go and watch those. Fine. But material cost variance, let's revise all the formulas. Standard cost minus actual cost. Always remember, all cost variances are standard cost minus actual cost. So material cost variance is standard cost minus actual cost, which is standard quantity into standard price minus AQ into AP. It is divided into 2 parts, price and usage. It always helps to remember the variances like this. Price variance is responsibility of purchase department, because purchase department is going to purchase at a price, right? Usage variance is responsibility of production department. Purchase department, price variance means what? Difference between price SP minus AP. Now concentrate whether we should multiply by this or this. Logically, what will purchase department say? We are going to go to market, and whatever is the actual quantity required, we'll purchase that, right? So that is why we'll multiply by actual quantity. Similarly for production, for usage variance, we'll take difference between quantity. And what will usage department or production department say? They will say that when we planned our production, this was the standard price. We don't care what they purchased at. They purchased at more price, we don't care, right? Standard price is what we will get charged with. Fine, so standard price. When there are more than one material, we divide usage variance into 2 parts, which is material mix variance and material yield variance. Mix, again as the name says, standard mix minus actual mix. Into, now since this is standard price, everything is going to be standard price below that, standard price. AM is nothing but AQ, actual quantity. Material yield variance is what? Standard quantity minus standard mix into standard price. Okay. This is the only formula which you need to remember separately. All other formulas can be derived from their names. Okay. I will someday explain logic behind this formula also, but not now, not in this video. So whenever you see a question of material or labor variance, okay, material variance is important first of all. Why? Because labor and variable overheads, both variances are dependent on material variance. Formulas are similar. Okay. So whenever you see a question with 2 material or 2 types of labor, you should always prepare a table. What table? What information we are going to need? What information will we need for material A and B? We will need standard price, standard quantity, actual price, actual quantity, and standard mix, because all these values come in these formulas, right? These 5 things will always need. In case of labor, we have to create another column for actual hours worked and paid. Sometimes for material also we have to create another column for actual quantity purchased and actual quantity consumed. But again, not right now, not relevant. Finally, now let's come to the question. Those who have not seen the question, pause the video, look at it on the screen. This much is the question, nothing else. Try to solve by yourself and then resume the video, then we'll check. Okay. Those who have already tried, those who got the answer, very good. Those who did not get the answer but you have tried, still very good. Okay, let's try. A company produces a product X using raw materials A and B. Standard mix of A and B is 1:1 and standard loss is 10% of input. Okay. That means you should always have a mental image of the question. So you have A and B. They are being processed in the ratio of 1:1, that is their standard ratio. And standard loss is 10%. That means suppose we input 50-50, that is 100 in total. 10% of input is standard loss. That means output is only how much? 100 minus 10%, which is 90. Okay. You should always have this map in your mind when you start the question, that this is the structure. Okay, now we are going to proceed. Standard price of raw material, which is SP. So 24 and 30, we can directly write it here, 24-30. Then actual input, that is actual quantity, right, of raw material. Question mark and 70. Fine. So 70 I'll write for B, nothing for AQ. Actual output. Now output does not come anywhere in any formula of material. So let's skip it for now. Actual price. So AP is given as 30 and question mark. Next. Standard input quantity, that is SQ, standard quantity, not given. Yield variance is given only in total. Mix variance not given. Usage variance not given. Price variance not given. Cost variance, they are saying for A it is 0 and total is 1300 adverse. That means for B also it must be 1300 adverse, right? That was easy. Okay. Now in missing figure questions like this, okay. Now these kind of questions are very common these days. Like 1.5 years back, there was a very difficult question of labor, missing figure question in exam, inter exam. Okay, so you should be ready to face such questions, and they will give you marks also, because once you get 1 or 2 key figures, you will get everything. Okay. Now how should you approach the question in exam? Think. You have some variances. You have this. You have this. And you have this. So you have only 3 starting points, 3 possible starting points, right? Select any one of them, start solving. If you get stuck, select second one, start solving. If you get stuck, select third one. Once you check all the options, you will get multiple equations and then you will get your answer. This is always the structure of such kind of question. So this seems easy, right? Let's start with this. Material cost variance of A is 0. Cost variance, okay. So let's solve it below this table. Cost variance of A. So MCV of A is 0. What is formula of MCV? SQ into SP minus AQ into AP. Let's check if we have any of these figures. So SQ for A is not given. SP is 24. So 24 SQ minus AQ into AP is AQ is not given, but 30 is AP, 30 AQ. This is 0, right? That means we have 24 SQ is equal to 30 AQ. Or if you want to cancel by 6, okay, 6 into 4, 6 into 5. So 4 SQ is equal to 5 AQ. We cannot do anything else on this, right? 4 SQ is equal to 5 AQ, fine. Okay. Let's store this. Let's store this and go ahead. Go ahead, second way. What is the second thing that we had? This, right? 1300 adverse. Let's start from that. 1300 adverse is material cost variance of B. Material cost variance of B will be what? SQ of B into SP of B minus AQ of B into AP of B. That is 1300 adverse. That means minus 1300. Fine. Let's see what we have. SQ, no, 30 SQ, right? SP is 30, right? Minus AQ we have 70, AP we don't have, so 70 AP is equal to minus 1300. Okay, still this was for A, right? This is for B. So still we don't have anything, because SQ of B, AP of B, what will we do with it, right? So no other information, still we don't have any other information. Again, let's store this. Let's go ahead. We have a third option. Now that third option will be able to give us something, because that is the only other option now, right? Material yield variance in total. Total material yield variance is 270 adverse. Fine. Concentrate carefully now. Total material yield variance will be what? Material yield variance of A plus material yield variance of B. Material yield variance of A will be what? What is formula of material yield variance? SQ of A minus SM of A into SP of A, plus it will be similarly SQ of B minus SM of B into SP of B. And this is given to us as 270 adverse, which is minus 270. Now many of you might have got stuck at this point. Okay, let's see how to solve this. How to solve this, you should know a basic concept. That is why understanding the logic behind all these formulas is important, which we'll see in a later video. So yeah, now understand, they have given something in the first line itself. They are saying standard mix of A and B is 1:1. Standard mix of A and B is 1:1. That means any standard quantity, SQ, SM, they are always going to be in the ratio of 1:1. Always. That means, concentrate carefully, 1:1 means what? Same. So SQ of A and SQ of B will be same, right? Let's assume them as X. Similarly, SM of A and SM of B will be same. Let's assume them as Y. If we have that, concentrate carefully, minus 270 will be SP of A into bracket. What is SQ of A? We just saw here, SQ of A is X, right? So X minus SM of A is what? Y, right? Y. So Y plus SP of B into again X minus Y. That's it. Let's check if we have these figures, SP of A and SP of B. I think yes, right? 24 and 30. So that means we have got this very good equation. Minus 270 is equal to 24 into X minus Y plus 30 into X minus Y. 24 plus 30 is what? 54 X minus Y, if we take X minus Y common. Now X minus Y will be what? 270 upon 54 negative. Okay, I don't have my calculator right now. Let me check. 270 by 54 is 5, minus 5, right? Okay. What was X? What was Y? Let me write it properly now. SQ. So SQ of A minus SM of A is minus 5. Or you can write B also, does not matter. Both are same. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now the next part is very interesting, because concentrate, we have got three equations, right? Okay. Just a second. Okay, I think this is okay. Fine. Okay, so we have got three equations. Still not close to answer. It seems like we have got 4 into SQ of A is equal to 5 into what was it? AQ of A. Then we have got second equation as 30 into SQ of B minus 70 into AP of B is equal to minus 1300. Fine. And then we have got this third equation, SQ of A minus SM of A is equal to minus 5. Again, like I said, understanding concepts is very important to move ahead from this stage. Because, I would suggest that take some time, pause the video, think again as to how can we get the answer now. Okay. If not, resume and check, and even if you get it, resume and check whether you have got correct answer. Okay. So now let's see what we can do. I hope you have paused the video and thought about it. Let's check what we can do. Now to go ahead, you should know one very basic concept, that standard mix is nothing but actual quantity in standard ratio, AQ in SQ ratio. That is why I always say in regular class that write full names of column. Don't write SQ, write SQ for actual output. Don't write SM, write SM in bracket AQ in SQ ratio, because that is what it is, right? Fine. So AQ in SQ ratio means what? AQ total. Let's call this as B. What is total of AQ then? 70 plus B. We have to divide this in SQ ratio. But we know SQ ratio is 1:1. It is given in first line of the question. SQ ratio is 1:1. That means half-half. 1:1 is half-half. So it is going to be 70 plus B by 2 and 70 plus B by 2. Right? 70 plus B by 2. B is what? Actual quantity of A. Okay. This was a bit complicated. So if you have not understood it, rewind, check and come back. Okay. Only if you are sure, let's go ahead. So we know that SM, standard mix is what? Actual quantity of A plus 70 upon 2. Actual quantity of A plus 70 upon 2. Minus sign, and then SQ of A is equal to minus 5. So this is the equation that we have. Concentrate carefully. Can I write it as, let's multiply this 2 here. Can I write it like this? 2 into SQ of A minus AQ of A plus 70 whole divided by 2 is equal to minus 5. Let's take that 2 to the right hand side. So 2 into SQ of A minus AQ of A plus 70 is equal to, oh sorry, this will not be plus 70, I have made a mistake. This will now become minus 70 because we have opened this bracket. That will be what? Minus 10. Fine. That means 2 into SQ of A minus AQ of A is equal to minus 10 plus 70, which is 60. Fine. Now we have nearly got the answer. Why? Because if you check your first equation, it was about SQ of A and AQ of A only, right? What was your first equation? Your first equation was 4 into standard quantity is equal to 5 into actual quantity, right? 4 into standard quantity is equal to 5 into actual quantity. That means standard quantity is equal to 5 by 4 into actual quantity. Okay, let's write it then. 2 into, instead of standard quantity, I can write 5 by 4 into actual quantity minus actual quantity is equal to 60. Fine. Let's cancel this. 5 by 2 is 2.5, right? So 2.5 actual quantity minus actual quantity is equal to 60. I know this can get confusing, but concentrate, because understand that a question which was even more difficult than this has already come in inter exam. Okay, so this is nothing in front of that. The question was really difficult, a labor question. That means 1.5 into actual quantity is 60. Okay, I don't mean to scare you, but still you should be ready to face such questions in exam. Okay, so 60 by 1.5 is what? 40. So actual quantity of A is 40. Because of this, we'll be able to get a lot of figures now. Actual quantity of A is 40. Let's write it in the table. Actual quantity of A, which we assumed as B. So this is 40. If this is 40, that means total is 70 plus B, which is 110. If this is 110, that means standard mix is 110 by 2, which is 55. If this is 55, then concentrate, we can get this also, because now we know standard mix of A is 55. That means standard quantity of A will be what? If you take 55 to right hand side, 55 minus 5 is 50. So that means standard quantity of A is 50. That means standard quantity of B is also 50 because ratio is 1:1. So only one thing is remaining now, which is this AP. Okay, that we have second equation. So this we can definitely use. Try to use and solve by yourself. We have 30 into standard quantity of B minus 70 into actual price of B is equal to minus 1300, right? So 30 into, we know this is 50, minus 70 into this is equal to minus 1300. So let's check how much that is. 30 into 50 is what? 1500. Let's take that as plus 1300 is equal to 70 into actual price. So 1500 plus 1300 is 2800 divided by 70 is 40. So actual price of B is 40. So 40 is the correct answer for the remaining figure. Okay. That's it. If you get this, now you'll be able to get everything. Everything as in you'll be able to get all the variances now. Okay. So I'm not going to calculate all the variances in this video now, because anyway they are, just you have to put the formulas, that's it. I'll just calculate this last figure, actual output, because that is not in any formula. Understand? We know that actual this standard quantity SQ is always SQ for actual output. Always remember it like that. Standard quantity is for actual output. Standard quantity is for actual output. Okay. Standard quantity, we know how much is standard quantity? 50-50. Coincidentally, our answer is also 50, right? Standard quantity is 50-50, right? So actual output will be 90. That's it. This was the map that we drew in the beginning. So if 50-50 is the standard quantity, 10% will be the loss and output will be 90. So 90 is the answer for output. That's it. Rest all figures I hope you can calculate by yourself. They are easy because now you have got all the figures. So this question was really difficult and I hope you have understood it. But this is very useful from exam point of view, because once you solve this again, you have revised all the formulas of material. Okay, fine. So just understand everything conceptually in costing, so that in exam whatever comes in front of you, you are able to solve it. Okay, fine. So I hope this is clear to everyone, and always assume that exam is going to be full of unseen questions, so that you keep on trying more and more, you keep on trying harder and harder. Okay, fine. Okay, then let's stop here for today. If you have any doubts, let me know in comments. Okay, bye everyone, let's stop.